What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how to find a really great property management company for your short-term rental property, your Airbnb. There's two types of people that might really benefit from this video. Either you're one, looking to find a property management company, obviously. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some ways that you can go about making that decision and choosing the right person so you can avoid a potential disaster. Because let me tell you, the difference between picking a great property management company and a not so great one can mean a multi-thousand, if not tens of thousands of dollars in difference to your bottom line at the end of the year. So you definitely want to make sure you make this decision correctly. Or two, you might be a property management company yourself or be thinking about creating one. And if you want to start a property management company or you already run one, obviously you want to be one of the property management companies that actually gets picked, that is a really great one. And so you'll want to stay in touch with this video and just watch this video to see exactly what my recommendations are, because this is going to tell you exactly what you need to do to make sure that your property management company grows on autopilot. Now, for either one of you guys, there's links in the description down below to some free trainings, whether you want to manage other people's properties or you're an investor managing your own. That said, let's dive into it. And the place I'd like to start is specialization. Now, super important, and this is something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and I think too many people overlook, is that your property management company that you select for your property needs to be specialized in your market and ideally in dealing with your type of property. Because a person that manages, or a company that manages all different types of properties, is generally not going to do a very good job of optimizing the performance of yours. So for example, if you manage high-end properties and low-end properties, a 1-bedroom condo here and a 7-bedroom villa there, then you're just fundamentally dealing with two totally different products that you're trying to sell, and the way you go about marketing and selling those two different products is totally different. So if you find yourself dealing with a jack-of-all-trades type property management company, they're probably just not actually going to be a master of either one of those. The other thing that you have to bear in mind is location. If someone doesn't specialize in your specific market, then they may not know about the different seasonal fluctuations in your market super well. They might not keep up to date with the events happening in that area, and they might not adjust your prices accordingly. They might just not really understand why people travel and not be able to optimize your listing better or as well as they could, because they don't understand why people travel to that area in the first place and how to attract those types of guests. So take these big companies like Evolve, Vacasa, these other ones as an example. You see time and time again, or at least I do, because I talk to a lot of these investors that actually have their properties managed by these companies, and there's consistent issues with those companies, like not updating pricing when they should be, or not updating the headline because the season changed or there's an event happening in town, or they just don't really do a great job with the photography or with the listing optimization, and all these problems happen. And so if you really want to find a great property management company that's going to net you as much as possible, and it's worth paying even a little bit more to find a property management company that's going to really dial things in and actually produce more revenue. I'd rather pay 20% to a property management company that's going to get me a whole bunch more revenue versus paying 10% for a property management company that's going to get me, a fraction of what I could be earning, and where I'm going to net a lot less at the end of the year. And so what I found is one of the biggest differentiators on that front is specialization. You want to work with someone that really understands your market and understands ideally the type of property that you have on your hands better than anyone. So that's one thing. Now, the second thing I recommend is that you pick a property management company whose service offering matches with the actual needs and challenges that you have. So if you're a larger scale investor and you want to keep managing with your cleaning team and your maintenance person, you might only want a property manager that deals with the pre-check-in aspects of property management, like listing optimization, pricing optimization, a bit of guest communication. You might not want full service. Whereas if you're a vacation homeowner that wants to be completely hands-off and have this be totally passive income for you, then maybe you do want someone that's full service, has their own cleaning team, their own maintenance, everything else. What I've found is that if you find a property management company that their services just don't really mesh with what you're looking for and you try to make it work, at best you're going to be in a mediocre position. So take the time to find a property management company that really specializes in and offers services that really map and line up well with exactly what you're looking for, so that it can be a long-term win for both of you guys. Because ultimately you want to find a property management company that you can stick with for multiple years into the future. And so it's worth taking the time up front to make sure that you find the right property management company for this role. Now, the other thing I would highly recommend that you consider is the level of experience that a property manager has, because experience does make a really big difference in this industry. So it's not to say that you shouldn't work with someone who's brand new starting out, but if they're brand new starting out and they don't have any kind of training or education or anyone they're getting mentored by in the space, then that's going to be probably a no for me, because ultimately that means that your property is going to be the testing ground for them. They're going to learn and pay for their education by losing money on your property, making mistakes along the way. So I really wouldn't advise on working with someone like that. If you're working with someone that has a bunch of experience already in the area, great. Check references, make sure that people are happy with them. But if you're working with someone who is brand new, then at least make sure that they're working with a coach or a mentor or a system, a training. They've had the education to have learned a lot of the lessons they need to learn without having to make mistakes, and without specifically having to make mistakes with your property on the line. So that's another big one. I think a lot of property managers, by the way, if you're someone who's thinking about starting a property management company, I think a lot of people overestimate how challenging it's going to be to get started. They think it's going to be a lot more challenging than it really is. A lot of people always ask me, how can I get my first client if I don't have experience? And it's one of those classic kind of meme situations where all jobs want experience, but no jobs are you can't get any job to get the experience. And so my best answer to that, if you're looking to start a property management company, is get the experience without actually managing properties. Get the experience from working with a coach or a mentor, someone like me that you can learn from, so you can get that stamp on your resume that says, hey, I'm actually doing this education. I learned this stuff. It's the same reason that doctors go through schooling to be able to be hired as a doctor. They need that education, because that education is in and of itself experience. So that's another big tip for property management companies out there, if that's why you're watching this video. Now, the other thing I would say is just make sure that when you're selecting a property management company, you work with someone that you like. Guys, just want to take a quick break here to say that for those of you watching who want to build cash flow and long-term wealth by purchasing Airbnbs and short-term rental properties, there's a link in the description right down below for a free training that'll walk you through my exact strategy for investing successfully in Airbnbs. Now, if you're not ready to actually buy properties and you want to get started managing other people's properties on Airbnb, the same way I got started, and build a full-time income managing other people's properties, there's actually another free training linked in the description down below as well that'll be a really great fit for you. So whether you want to invest in short-term rental properties and actually build amazing cash flow and long-term wealth by acquiring the assets, buying the properties themselves, or you're looking to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb, we've got some awesome trainings that are linked in the description down below that'll definitely help you out. When you sign up for the trainings, we're also going to send you a few other tools and resources completely for free just to help you get started. Again, the links to sign up are in the description down below, and both trainings and all the tools are completely free. So make sure to register for the trainings, links in the description down below. Now, the other thing I would say is just make sure that when you're selecting a property management company, you work with someone that you like. So this is a pretty basic one. I think it's really important because, again, you're going to have a long-term relationship with these people. If they just don't mesh well with you and you don't like them, you don't actually respect them and want to sit down and meet with them or like the way that they operate their business, then it's probably not worth doing it. I see a lot of people that kind of just overlook this and they go, okay, I'm going to work with Evolve just because it's easy, it's there. But they don't actually specialize in the market. Sure, they've got a boatload of experience and they also don't like the company. Dealing with them is a bit miserable. Their customer support sucks and they just kind of suck it up and deal with it. And in my experience, it's just never a good long-term strategy. You want to work with a property management company that ultimately has your best interest at heart, has your back. And probably the most important tip I'll give to you is work with a property management company that you actually matter to. So that's another big problem with these large companies, is that at the end of the day, you're one of thousands, if not tens of thousands of properties that they manage. So a couple $1,000s in extra revenue to you is a rounding error on their balance sheet at the end of the year when it comes to the management fees they made. Just think about that. If you work with a big, huge company like Evolve, then an extra $10,000 a year for you is an extra $1,000 in management fees to them. They're a multi-million dollar company. So that extra $1,000 is a total rounding error. It just doesn't matter to them, but I bet that $10,000 extra in the year would make a pretty big difference for you. And so you want to bear that in mind and make sure that your interests are actually aligned. You want to work with a property management company that actually cares about what you care about, and that their interests are aligned, so that they're going to fight hard to get those extra bookings and go that extra mile to really do a great job for you and deliver a high quality service. So those are my thoughts. That's the process I go through if I'm looking at helping someone find a property management company. Those are the questions I ask. If you have other things that you look for, let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, you found it valuable or helpful at all, then please give it a like. Just take a half a second, hit that like button. And last but not least, if you're new to the channel here, or you watch these videos a bunch, but you just for some reason have not yet subscribed, then make sure you hit the button below this video to subscribe to the channel and stay up to date with the 2 new videos we post every single week here. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.